What's up, guys? Welcome back to Mommy Motivation Monday. Once again, it has been too long, but I've had a lot going on, so I just needed to take some time and step back and regroup, step back and punt. But we're back. We are back on. Let me just start from the beginning, I guess. So, as most of you know, I am married, and I've been experiencing a lot of difficulties in my marriage lately. Just a lot of things, If you have followed me on social media, then you know me and my husband's story. I've always been very open about our story. My husband has always been so upset about how open I am, but for me, I get the most relief when I'm open about our story and I'm just upfront about the things that we have gone through and the things we've been through, because I know that even though it sounds ugly and even though it is ugly, I know that it's a blessing to someone, right? So if you haven't heard me and my husband's story, we've been together 3 years in October. And for about the first 2.5 years of our relationship, my husband was actively cheating on me. A lot of people always say, oh my God, how'd you stick it out? How'd you stick it out? When I think back, I don't really know how I stuck it out. I know I loved him, and I thought that the love was enough. And in these past couple of weeks, I've learned that, love isn't enough to be married. You need so much more to stay in a marriage. And I've spent so much time these past couple of weeks really discovering myself and meditating and praying and really getting in with who I am. And the more time that I've spent with myself, the more issues my husband and I have faced. And, it's crazy because people always said, when you start to find yourself and change your ways, you'll realize that, the things that you attract, the things you want will change. And I used to think people were so crazy, but here I am in that stage. I'm in that stage of life, and they're right. The more I change and the more I feel that he's not changing and the more I feel he is stagnant, the more issues we have in our marriage, But I started off Mommy Motivation Monday completely different than we ever have. We always start off with a quote, and to be real with y'all, I didn't even look up a quote. I wasn't really thinking of a quote today. I wasn't thinking about a quote. I just wanted to get on here and I wanted to be real. I wanted it to be authentic, and I wanted it to be just raw, uncut Mommy Motivation Monday. So, raw, uncut version of what's been going on recently. I've been in a very dark place, guys. And it has caused me to take a break from Mommy Motivation Monday and to really spend some time with myself, spend some time with my son, figuring out where to go from here. It's crazy. Like I said, I sit here now and I'm like, dang, I wanted to be married so bad. I love my husband, and I just knew we could create something beautiful if I just gave it time. But the crazy thing about it is sometimes time is not enough, right? Sometimes you give it time thinking that time is going to change things, and it doesn't. I mean, of course, sometimes time heals all wounds, as they say, and then sometimes it doesn't. So today's Mommy Motivation Monday is for the mother, the wife, the woman who is struggling to find yourself again, struggling to discover who you are outside of mom, outside of girlfriend or wife, or outside of daughter, sister. Who are you as an individual? Me and my husband got into an argument the other day, and I told him, I said, it's crazy because I put so much energy, so much time into this marriage that I've completely lost sight of who Gabriela is. I've forgotten what it was like to get dressed up and go hang out with the girls, go get some drinks, and just let my hair down and have the time of my life. I've become so consumed in making sure that he's happy and making sure that I'm up to par of what he would expect me to be, and I am miserable. I literally sat in my bed the other day and thought about how miserable I really am. How miserable I am to not be an individual anymore, but just the titles. I'm no longer a person. I'm just titles. And who wants to do that? But you do it. You become a mom and you know you have to be mom. You have to show up every day. And don't get me wrong, I love showing up for my baby. That's my entire world, my best friend, the love of my life. I will show up for him every day. But then I got married. And now I have a whole nother human that I'm expected to show up for. And don't get me wrong, marriage is a beautiful thing. Showing up for your spouse is a beautiful thing. But it's more beautiful when your spouse shows up for you like you show up for them. So when you get to that point to where you're the only one showing up, it becomes hard. You start to wonder, what if I stop showing up? What if I just stop? What if I cut my phone off? What if I just end it now and I don't show up for them anymore? And then you think about all the backlash you'll get, and you think about all the negativity you'll hear, and you think about everything that comes with stopping. So you keep going. You keep showing up. You keep doing what is expected of you until you're like a robot. Literally a robot. You're going through the motions because that's what you're expected to do. I don't know, it's crazy because I sit here now and I think, like, this isn't what I've seen my life as at 26, almost 27 years old. I mean, I definitely wanted to be married. I wanted to have the baby. But this isn't the marriage I envisioned. This is not the life I envisioned. And it's hard. It's hard accepting that everything you ever desired is not what you have. And it feels like it's not what you'll ever have. It's scary. It's lonely. Sometimes my husband will say, you have an attitude with me. You don't want to be around me. And it breaks my heart because I don't. Sometimes I just want to be alone. Sometimes I just want to be by myself and just be by myself. And then I'm guilted into feeling bad because why would you just want to be by yourself? That's your husband. I don't know, guys. This Mommy Motivation Monday is kind of just like a ramble. I typically have notes and I follow a certain thing to make sure I touch all my points. And today's Mommy Motivation Monday, I'm just jumping around because that's just where my head is at right now. It's just jumping around and I can't focus on one thing. And maybe that's my issue, is maybe I need to take that time to put my focus into one thing at a time, dealing with one thing, the one thing I can deal with at that time. Maybe then things will start to change. But if you have bipolar disorder or you know someone with it, then you know it is very hard to get your brain to align with what you know you need to do. So I spend a lot of my time bouncing around. And it is definitely showing in this episode. Gosh, Another thing I wanted to talk to you moms about, I wanted to talk about forgiveness. That was a big thing for me that I wanted to talk about this Mommy Motivation Monday. Forgiveness, such a strong word, such a powerful word. I've been on a journey of self-love, self-restoration, self-identification. I've really been spending time getting to know myself, finding out who I am, and facing the ugly parts of myself. And let me just say, there's not a lot of fun here. I've spent a lot of time recently looking at myself and analyzing myself and really being like, this is a problem that you have and it needs to be fixed, because if it's not fixed, it will ruin the rest of your life. And in the process of digging into those ugly parts of myself, I've had to learn to forgive myself. I've had to forgive myself for my shortcomings as a mother. I've had to forgive myself for my shortcomings as a person, a daughter, a sister, a wife, a friend. I've had to heal a lot, and it's been scary. It's been lonely, but it's been so rewarding. I am learning so many things about myself. I'm learning who I am, the things that make me happy, like genuinely belly shaking happy, like the happiest I could be. I am learning the things that make me unhappy, the things that I tolerate because of the people that it comes from and the people that I love. I am learning the things that I no longer want to tolerate. And it's been a journey, but it has been fun. I cannot lie. It's definitely been a fun journey. I have hated it. I've loved it. I've cried. I've laughed. I've screamed. I've prayed. This journey has been the best journey ever. But in the process of this journey, forgiveness is the one word that continues to pop up. Forgiveness is never for the other person, but it's always for you. It's never for the other person, but it's always for you. That's your quote. That is our Mommy Motivation Monday quote. We forgive people to give ourselves peace, to give ourselves relaxation, to give ourselves a clear mind. When I forgive you for what you have done to me, whether you are sorry or not, I release the animosity, the hatred, the depression, the despair that I've held on to in relevance to what you did to me. Forgiving you does not mean I ever have to speak to you again. It does not mean I have to rebuild the relationship again. It simply means I acknowledge what has happened and I forgive you for your shortcomings, and I forgive myself for expecting more out of you than what you could give me. In my healing process, I've learned that I set my standards very, very high. I expect people to meet these extremely high boundaries with these extremely high standards without even understanding that this person just can't. And then I'm so upset with them because they didn't meet the standards that I set for them, not realizing that it was just a standard they couldn't meet. I always expect people to be like I am. I expect people to treat me the way I treat them because I want them to be me. But they're not me. They are their own person. And I've had to learn to forgive people who weren't even sorry for hurting me. And in the process, forgive myself for getting my hopes up and allowing and disappointing myself. Every time I got my hopes up, it wasn't the other person that disappointed me. It was me that disappointed me. Because I went in with this mindset and my hopes high for this person to be like me without really knowing who this person was. So, to the mother, the wife, the girlfriend, the woman who is trying to refine herself and trying to heal from all of that trauma, big and small, forgiveness. Forgive them, whether they're sorry or not. And then forgive yourself, because you did the best you could at that time with what you knew. You were as developed at that time as you could be. Now, as the years have gone on, you've grown and you've developed more. So you look back and you're like, damn, I should have did this. But you wouldn't have done that back then, because you didn't learn that until you went through that. So understand that your trauma, big and small, directly affects who you are moving forward. And sometimes those effects are good, sometimes they're bad. But it shapes you into who you are. So the woman that you are now, that strong, beautiful, independent, not taking no shit woman that you are now, is a direct result of the frail, gentle, scared, insecure girl you were 3 years ago. We have to learn to embrace that frail, insecure little girl as much as we embrace this strong, secure woman. Because without that little girl, you wouldn't have this woman. That's all I got for y'all this Monday. I do promise that I will be back every Monday with Mommy Motivation Mondays. Like I said, guys, I just needed some time to rearrange, step back and punt, and put things into perspective for myself. It's so much more going on than you guys know. But that's for another day and another episode. So, thank you guys for tuning into Mommy Motivation Monday. I hope that you guys go forward with love, light, and blessings. Remember that I am here to listen and to give advice when you need it. And I love you guys. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for sticking it out with me through my breaks, through my, hey, I need some time. But I do promise I am back every Monday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Mommy Motivation Mondays on all streaming platforms. Make sure that you subscribe so you never miss an episode. I hope you guys have an amazing Monday morning. I love you all so much. Remember that you can come back and listen to any of these episodes anytime you need some encouragement. Go forward with love, light, blessings. Remember, forgiveness is always for you, not for the other person. All right, I love you guys, and I will see you next Monday on Mommy Motivation Mondays. Peace out.